Hey everyone, and welcome back into the channel for a brand new tutorial. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Shay and I'm a full-time emote artist and illustrator, and I'm here to teach you guys one of the most important steps in art, which is how to gather references like a pro. So a lot of beginners actually skip this step, which can lead to some frustration. You're struggling with your anatomy, you're struggling with your composition, you don't know where the light should be coming from, which is a really important one, by the way. One of my favorite reasons for gathering references is actually lighting references. Gathering good references is the foundation to good artwork, and I would actually argue probably the most important thing. You want to build a good foundation to rest the house upon. If you have a bad foundation, everything else falls apart. So this is the most important and most crucial step that a lot of people skip. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you why references matter, where to find them, how to organize them, what makes a good reference, and how to actually take that mood board and convert it into your art. By the end of this tutorial, you're going to be doing your art with absolute confidence, with great anatomy, great composition, great colors, and you are going to be drawing like a pro. If that sounds good to you, do consider hitting the like button as well as subscribing, and do consider checking out my Patreon. That's where I post a lot of these video tutorials in full length with very minimal editing, so you can see a lot more of the behind the scenes. And with that being said, let's jump into the tutorial. So first things first, references are not cheating. A lot of people think, oh, if I use a reference, it means that I don't know how to draw, but actually that's completely incorrect. When the pros used to do art, God, I don't even know, let's say the Renaissance period or something, or even way before, like cavemen, we would look at real life things and reenact them or redepict them onto a canvas. When we look at some of the paintings that we found in caves back when we were, Neanderthals or something, we were drawing people. Of course, we looked at each other and we would try and draw that on the rocks. And this has been an ongoing thing since the dawn of man, essentially. So there's nothing wrong with looking at references, real life photos, even the things around you in your environment in order to get that inspiration and in order to draw correctly. All the pros do it, and you should be too. And as you guys can see here, I have a Pinterest, but these boards really help you to understand mood, color, light, shadow, anatomy. In fact, in a previous tutorial where I taught you guys how to render, and you can check that, it'll pop up here, I used this as my reference photo. I loved the lighting, I loved the pose, and I used it to figure out the anatomy of not only my character, but also the dog that she was holding. And this was a huge key in making that piece look as realistic or semi-realism as it did. And you can even see this one. I used this one actually for my Mau Mau print. And I loved the hands, I loved the coloring, I loved the little dumplings in front. Her expression was really expressive. This was a reference that I used for my Cynthia print. So don't be shy to use references. They really help you out. So I will come on and say that I know Pinterest had an AI problem for a long time. It still has an AI problem, but they did recently come out with an update as of the time of recording this video where you can remove most of the AI. Now, it's not foolproof, but it does work. If you head over to your settings and then refine recommendations, go to generative AI interests, and then you can turn them all off. That should help the home feed. However, again, it's not foolproof. There will still be some AI, but it does do a pretty good job. Another great website is PixIV. This one is, I think, something similar to a DeviantArt, but a Japanese version where you can find all sorts of collections and inspiration. But you do need to keep in mind, these are real artists that are uploading these pictures. So you do want to be kind of mindful of copying. Another one I'm obsessed with is Line of Action. This one's really good for getting real reference photos. You've got figure drawings, facial expressions, hands, animals, all sorts of stuff. So definitely consider checking this one out too. So you want to be making sure that you're gathering references from multiple different sources, not just one artist, because that's how you can end up copying a specific artist. Another great website to get your references would be Google Images. Google Images is absolutely littered with reference photos. You can find pretty much anything here. You can look up horse wallpaper, because I want to do a horizontal image. So I'm going to look up horse wallpaper, and this is where I can maybe find some really beautiful composition. This is something I'm inspired by as well. So this is kind of where you're going to get your ideas from. Another great website for gathering references is Unsplash. I like this one because you can find a lot of moody coloring here. So this can maybe inspire you with a color palette or a vision that you have in your head. You can search for high quality photos of environments as well. So if we want to look up like maybe volcano or something, we can get some really cool ideas for a fiery background for our art piece. Like, this is very beautiful. I really love the colors on this one, and this actually may make it into our final vision board. Another amazing reference website is you. I'm not kidding. There have been many times where I've taken a picture of my own hand in order to get the correct pose. So don't be afraid to use yourself, pose yourself. You can use a tripod, which I always have on hand. So if there's a specific pose that you can't find online and it's just in your brain and you really want to draw it, take a picture of yourself, take a selfie. Don't be scared to do it. A lot of us do it. In fact, I have so many pictures on my phone of my hand with zero context that people sometimes will look at it and be like, Jay, why is there a weird picture of you holding a pencil like this? Right? But don't be afraid to use your own camera for reference. And the best part about that is there's zero copyright because it's you. You took your own photos. You can also go outside in nature and take pictures of trees, of lakes, of rocks, of compilations of leaves, dogs, cats, horses, whatever it is. So yeah, use your camera. Now that you've collected all your images, how do we organize them? My number one recommendation is PureRef. It's a free pay what you want tool that is an absolute game changer for artists, and I'm going to show you why. So you can go over here. I will drop the links in the description, but you can go over here, check it out, download it for whichever operating system you're using, and here's the magic of it. I'm going to have my anatomy over here. So these are my poses that I like. So I'm going to organize them like this. This is the main character that we are drawing. And this side can be the colors, the mood, the technique, whatever the inspiration is. And this side's the more anatomically correct version with the main character that we're going to be drawing from in the middle. And this way I've got all my resources in one specific board and I can move it around while I'm trying to draw. It's like having a digital cork board right on your computer screen. I'm going to grab this volcano as well. I thought this was really pretty, so we're just going to drop it over here. Oh, very high quality. Yes, I do like this volcano as well for a background. I thought it was very beautiful. So now that I've shown you where to find references and how to organize them, I'm going to take you through my workflow step by step. Okay, there's a problem. iPad users, I've got you guys. I don't think that PureRef is available on the iPad. However, there is a function on your iPad where you can take your Pinterest and include it on one side of the screen. And let me show you what I mean. So I do have Pinterest obviously installed as a little widget, by the way. I love it as a widget. It is so inspirational because when I open up my iPad, I get to see all the art and everything, and it kind of inspires me to draw. So definitely consider adding it as a home screen widget. But what you'll do is you'll open up Procreate, and then you're just gonna slide up, and then, oh, I don't have Pinterest open. Let's just open that quickly. And we can slide up and just drag Procreate over to the side, and now you have a beautiful little reference area. So this works really well for iPad users. I will sit on the sofa, I'll sit on the bed, and I don't have access to a computer, and so I can't use this specific tool that I showed you earlier for gathering references, but I always do this. That's just a handy little tip from my iPad users. Don't worry, you can still have a little reference board. I'm not going to use it because I am sitting at my desk and I do have one monitor directly in front of me where I can reference my references. Okay guys, so I've set up my screen. I now have my desktop wallpaper aspect ratio, which is 16:9. And we're gonna start drawing. We're gonna include a background color. I like to make it gray just to start, because as I told you guys in one of the previous videos, 1, it helps your eyes. 2, it helps you see the true value of the colors. Sometimes when you make something white or you make something black, it actually skews the color. I'm gonna go ahead and sketch with a dark blue. I'm gonna use my custom sketch brush, which you could find on Patreon as well, so do consider joining. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna look at my reference and I'm gonna start loosely, like when I say loosely, I mean really loosely sketching, okay? All right, so now that we've got the second loose sketch, we're gonna do another loose sketch, but this time we're just gonna get the anatomy a little bit more accurately done. We've got a loose sketch done. Now we're gonna do what I like to call an underpaint, or you can call it a thumbnail if you want to. But we're gonna go and make a layer underneath our sketch layer, and then we're gonna start dropping in our colors while looking at our references. So I do have my references up on the computer, and I'm gonna start building some of the color. And we can use my new painting mixer brush. You can find that over on the Patreon as well. It's kind of like add painterly effects. You can kind of see a little bit. It's making it look a bit more smoky. But I did really like some of the other references we gathered. Some of the brighter like reds and stuff here I thought were really pretty. All right, so I like it. I think it's looking really fun. I'm liking the colors. I think another thing that could look really pretty now that I'm looking at the thumbnail is what if we added Asian influence design elements? Something like this with like a gold sort of finish to it. That could be really pretty as a piece that kind of brings everything together. And then that would be the thumbnail and the rough under sketch. I'm gonna circle it back to this screen just so you guys can see what I was looking at the whole time. So I had PureRef open up on my monitor, and then I had my iPad over here right in front of me, and I was just drawing this way. So you can see this piece came together and we took all sorts of elements from the mood board, and I'll show you exactly what we captured. We grabbed this buckskin horse in order to come up with a little bit of the correct anatomy. We took a little piece of this, which was, I love the extended hoof. I loved the way the tail was shaped, but we did it in our own way. And then I did like some of the expressive versions of these hooves, which you can kind of see a little bit over here. Of course, rough sketch. And a little bit of the anatomy from here. We grabbed the back leg from this one. And I'm probably, when I go in to do my rendering, I will use a little bit more of this lighting. The whole time we were looking at what exactly our character looks like. And then we took bits and pieces from here. I really enjoyed the side motion of the paint here, which you can see sort of captured very loosely over here in my reference. I took the volcano background in order to come up with a nice gradient. We took some of the embers here. This will be mostly for the ending of my art. These are final polishing touches on how I'm really gonna render the fire because it's absolutely not done yet. And then we grabbed some of the beautiful line work here, and actually zooming in on this, I think this might be AI. I think it is, but from far it gave some really nice elements. And so you can see that inspired me, because when I look at it, when I zoom out and look at it, for some reason something clicked in my head where I thought, oh my gosh, that Asian pattern with the arches, I thought would be really pretty. That's very much incorporated in Chinese New Year style art. And you can see I did that over here. So even though, yes, I think this might be AI, it still led to some sort of an inspiration. And pro tip, this is why I say to organize your reference board with anatomy, one with character, one with mood, one with inspiration, because that way you're looking at the one side of the board. I was constantly referencing this side in the beginning so I can get the anatomy down. And then near the end of my thumbnail, I went to the other side and I started getting inspiration. And when I look at them all together, it sort of makes a mishmash in my head, like a new idea in my head forms. And that's how we came up with this piece. And what do we do after this? At this point, you can compile quite a few other thumbnails. So you can do different poses, different lighting, different backgrounds, and see what you like, and then choose the one that you want to move forward with. I actually have another video that you guys can watch where I took something like this, which was an underpainting / thumbnail, and turned it into a fully rendered piece. It'll pop up here on the screen. And that's it. Gathering references does not have to be rocket science. As I showed you guys, it could be inspiring, it could be fun, and it'll really help you to make your illustrations easier and go to that next level. I hope you found this tutorial useful. If you did, again, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and I hope to see you guys over on Patreon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, everyone.